Listen, before you unsubscribe, before you hit that button, please just hear me out. I'm sorry. I've already sought help. I've already talked to people about it. I've already made phone calls to my family and friends. I've already sat there and repented to my Lord and Savior and asked him for forgiveness, which he quickly denied me. He said there are certain things in life that you just cannot get away with, and this is one of them. And, you know, I'm going to have to live in hell for the rest of my life for that. When I pass, I have a one-way ticket to hell. There are some things that you just can't repent from. There is no forgiveness for, and that was one of them. So while I still am on this earth, and before I go to live with the devil and all of his demons, please just stay subscribed to give me a little bit of boost of energy, to give me some peace of mind, a feeling of goodness while I'm still here. But either way, the reason why I chose that song is not only because it's one of the greatest songs to ever exist in all of time. Not necessarily, I'm just saying that because whenever I'm at the gym and it comes on, I kind of get down to it. Not really sure why, it just gives me a groove. But either way, I wait for stocks to come back around. That's the most important thing. If you see something running and you sell it, if you buy a stock and it runs and you sell it, do not sit there and stare at it and say, I could have got back in, and then chase even higher. That will always come back to bite you in the ass. It is a rule that I try and follow to a T. If I sell something, especially for a large gain, I'm out, and I'm out for the foreseeable future. I set my alerts in the same stock that day for what I think it's going to come back to, and then I just wait. If the alerts go off, great. You saw me reviewing the stock after I sold at 18. It went all the way to 26. Would have been a massive gain for me if I would have held over 100%. But either way, I sold a little bit too soon, but I didn't chase higher. I waited, and today, in the middle of the day, right at lunchtime, right when everybody's dumping, boom, hits the 15, which is where I set my alert. Reason why I set the alert at 15 was because it's a little bit above this middle band. It's right around this support here, which it needed to break to get on that run to 26. And I knew that it's a thin stock, so I need time to react. So if my alert goes off at 15 and I see it, I need time to be able to free up some money, or I need time to be able to at least set the, because it can move really quick. And on these drops, especially when it falls to support on a very thin stock, you might get an oversell, and you might have just a split second in time to get shares, especially a hefty amount, before it goes back up, which is exactly what happened today. I sniped those noobs that were selling into the bid like White Death from Scandinavia. Look them up. Classic man. But either way, sniped them. Down at 14, got a half fill at 13.7, hit the ask again at 14, boom, closed at 16.9, nice clean 25% off the bottom. Now I can decide what I want to do tomorrow. Is it going to bump up in the morning? I assume so. Is it going to continue to run? Only way that that's going to happen, if it's going to run from here, it's going to be off news for dividends or some type of acquisition. Even then, I'll have to play it by ear. But I do expect news possible tomorrow, given it's a Thursday. But either way, no matter what happens, I can watch the tail of the tape in the morning, and I can make a decision with 20% above my buy-in, and I can either sell, or I can hold, or I can, either way, that technical of trading, planning your entries and exits is very important. And the best way to do that, like I've said in previous videos, is to set alerts. You're not always going to be looking at every stock at every moment. But if one hits a certain price point that you know is guaranteed, once it gets there, to be a good buy, at least for a pop off the bottom, you set your alert, it hits. You don't even have to think twice. You grab your cash, you hit the ask, or you buy the bid if you have enough time, and boom, you're going to be for a gain either that day or very shortly, unless something hellish came out. But I knew nothing came out bad in HNRC. I know it's a thin stock, and they were going to dip this hard. Sometimes they do this before they put out news, so I could be in a really good position. But I just wanted to go over the fact that set your alerts. Don't only be staring at what you're invested in. A lot of people get blinders on the only thing that they're invested in, and they don't pay attention to the rest of the market. And the best way to do that is to set alerts. Then you don't even need to stare. You know, even set alerts on the stocks that you're in, so you don't have to stare at those either. Is it going to break a certain level of a high level? Then maybe you set your alert there. Is it going to fall down below support? Maybe you set your alert there or at your break even. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you're setting alerts. It's a very small thing that takes zero time, that most people do not do because they're too lazy to do it, and it causes them money in the long run because they put their money in something and that's all they're focused on, which is one of the worst ways to trade. So that's all I have to say about that. I can barely see anything because I've been talking so crazily, and I'm so hot in this jacket and this headpiece that the inside of this is fogged up. I don't even know, is the camera over here? Is the camera underneath me? Is the camera above me? I have no idea. All I know is that I'm going to hell for that intro, and you should be thankful. And in return, all I ask for a like, a comment, subscription. Likes have been falling off. Half of the reason is because I called EPAZ top at 2. It dumped all the way back down to sub 9. Everybody on that board is probably pissed at me, except for a couple people that are level-headed and have a brain, probably older and more mature. But the dumbasses on that board with the literal name of the ticker of the stock in their name are calling me a dumbass. I'm like, hey, buddy, look at my post when I told you to sell. It says negative 50%. I'm the dummy because you think that this random penny stock is actually selling drones to the U.S. government? Hey, get your brain fixed. Hey, your spinal cord's disconnected. Might want to plug it back into your socket in your skull. So everybody from that board, I think it was like a team effort to come to my page and unlike my because I lost like 10 likes in like 10 minutes. I was like, obviously that's like a team effort there, but that's fine. That's fine. Hey, you want to be pissed at me for telling you to say and showing you that you should have saved money? Fine. It's not my fault that you were up 100% and now you're break even. You live, you learn, or you don't learn. You keep getting mad at people like me, and then, you go to the core of the earth. You go to the bottom of the ocean to live with the fishes with electric snouts. So we're going to jump into the charts after that. Let me actually pause this because I don't even have anything set up yet. All right, so today I really got to start going over these quicker because I've been having extremely slow upload speeds because of the gigabytes involved in the content now that I'm making. Listen. I do too much work that the computer can't keep up. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys since I started this page. I want to do more, but the computer's like, I can't handle this. And I'm like, hey, step up to the plate. Now, is it the fact that I bought a MacBook Air like a dick, thinking that that was enough to do an entire page off of? Maybe. Maybe I didn't know enough. Or maybe technology just isn't there yet. Okay, but either way, DVLP is what we're going to start with. This was one of my calls of the week. The day after that I called it as one of my calls of the week, it did run 20% right off the bat from 4 to 5. But I can't call it a win because I'm an honest man. The truth will be told. Only the truth will be told. I cannot tell a lie or I will be struck dead. It was a burden given to me as a very young boy on the operating table next to my mother. I saw a vision of Jesus, and he told me these things, and I may never stray. But so I can tell no lie. We still have 2 more days in the week to potentially get this to close well over 4. But the reason why I actually dumped break even on this, could have taken advantage of that pop during the day because I had already had shares, but there just wasn't enough liquidity at the top. I thought that it would stabilize and push, but unfortunately the diluters came in, 10K iceberg asks, dumped it down. Well, realistically, they weren't aggressive on the bid. They were just aggressive on the ask. So even with all the volume that was coming in on the ask, it just wasn't enough. And they say that the shares structure has been updated and there's no change. Sure, but I know that there's ways that they can do it even without changing it in the sense of if you've already printed the shares and they're already counted in the OS, you still have them as commons to dump. So it might not change the actual share structure, but check the float. I guarantee you the float on DVLP is choked or it's gagged, meaning it's not been updated in a very long time. So those shares that were converted a long time ago are now being dumped into the float or into the general public shares, so to speak. That's what the float is. Either way, there's some type of dilution. I don't want to hear that they're air shares. I don't want to hear that it's manipulation. I don't want to hear any of that crap. I've been doing this long enough. I know what dilution is. You don't need to show me an OS update to show it to me. All you need to do is look at L2, which is another video I will be doing shortly, either this week or next, probably for the weekend video. But either way, that's the reason why I sold, dump break even, still 2 days, still a chance to go. And, you know, these price targets that I get on my page, about 50 cents. Hey, bud, let's hold 4 first. Okay, that's not like a combative thing to say to you. It's just that get that out of your head. Stop thinking about what you're going to make if it gets to 50 and start thinking about holding a bid at 4. Let's start there, and then we'll talk about 5, and then we'll talk about 6. 50, forget about it. I don't care what the stock does. I don't care what the story is. Get that out of your mind. Use one of those machines like in the Men in Black and just wipe that shit clean because you're out of pocket. You are out of this realm. You are on another planet. Come back down to Earth. We'll all have dinner. We'll all go to dinner and we'll all talk about it. JAGX. Unbelievable piece of turd. This is the most disgusting stock I've ever seen in my entire life. Somehow I came out with a gain on it. It pushed really hard with heavy volume and then they just dump it back down. That's why in the beginning of the day, I didn't sell the peak of the day. I watched it for a little bit. I thought that it would have some type of support given the volume yesterday and the pre-market volume. And no, the ATM still stands. They're still dumping. This thing is, I think this might be the biggest POS that I've ever traded in my entire life. I took a small loss the first time I trade it. I took a small gain the next time I tried to trade it. This is on my no touch list until further notice, aka possibly tomorrow, depending. But I'm definitely not going to buy this before earnings because they already could be headed for another reverse split. No matter what, this thing trades like absolute garbage. I can't imagine the people that are bagged from $300. I'm not sure why you're still holding. I think that you need to like reevaluate how you're trading because if you buy something at $30 and it's all the way at 80 cents, hey, should have sold a little higher. Hey, cut your loss at 10%. You won't be holding a bag the size of goddamn Jupiter. PSWW. This thing has been running, my friend was saying he was trying to get in a pullback in this today. I don't like this candle, so to speak. It does seem like it closed near the bottom of it with a high peak and probably in the beginning of the day. I call that a blow off top. Let's see what it does from here. There's a chance because of the fact that it did have a higher low and a higher high that it could kind of stabilize here, consolidate a little bit and keep pushing. I don't know. I mean, your RSI is fine. I would rather buy it on the 50 line than trying to play it up here. Your MACD isn't overbought, but your volume isn't really there as much. I'm going to be looking to buy more at 7s on a pullback than trying to chase this and hope that it's going to go back up to a penny and a half. So we'll have to see, depending on how it reacts tomorrow to that candle is going to be very telling. GME. I had a friend sell this today. I think they were bagged from like 35 bucks. Absolute mega jump. It was smart that they did that because, I mean, look, it's a meme stock. I know that it's the best stock to ever exist. It's going to the moon. It's going to 500 bucks. That's what I really think about it. This is going to be the short squeeze of the millennia. There was just profit takers coming in today. This is forming a W formation. This gap is it doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything. You broke above resistance. You pulled back to it. You're going to have a massive green candle tomorrow. It's going to go to the sky. It's never going to come back down. Probably the best stock to ever exist. The fundamentals match up with a $300 price target, should have $1 trillion market cap, point blank, period. AMC, same thing, going to $1 trillion, Probably going to smoke every stock to ever exist. Going to definitely beat out Apple for the biggest market cap in history. Filled this gap. That was the final sell-off. The MMs are done. The shorts are smoked. Get ready for a MOAS of mass proportion, one that will send people to the sky to live with the angels and the heavenly fathers. It is probably the best stock. Their fundamentals are all there. Should not be anywhere near $5. Should be more like 500. Why? I'm not sure, but that seems to be the general consensus, so I'm going to ride with it for subs. MULN. And I really mean that. AMC is going to go, you better load up. You better load up. The train's leaving. Do you want to miss it? Because I don't. I want to go to the moon. I want to be the first one to walk on Mars. I want to be the first one to orbit Jupiter. I heard there's like 600 billion shares short, guys. When are they going to cover them? Obviously, any day now. Get in before it's too late. MULN, absolute destruction stock. Why? Because this company is one of the most dilutive pieces of shit to ever exist. I know that there's a lot of people that are bagged right now that are going to hate me for saying this, but here's your sigh of relief. I do think that this is, it's overdone now. It's overdone. The company is absolutely diluting this to dust. It's underneath the bottom line, which is 30 on your RSI. Your MACD is really, really low. This might be a tell of the market. I'm not sure, but you're way below. I mean, this thing is just creating new 52-week lows every single day. But it looks a lot like JAGX, just jagging people off, trying to get you to buy in, trying to get you to climax, and then just stopping right before you never mind, and then they just stop and leave. Have you ever had that happen to you? Have you ever had that happen to you? Because it happened to me probably last time, and maybe the only time, was about a year and a half ago. A girl was there. We were getting hot and heavy. It was getting ridiculous. It was a smoke city. There was fumes everywhere. You couldn't see outside because of all the haze on the windows. I was dripping sweat. She was dripping sweat. And she said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave right now, and I'm going to make you wait." Not to mention that I was half drunk, and I was hard as a rock. This is a little bit too much information, but it has a lot to do with this stock, so pay attention. I almost wanted to obliterate my own, I wanted to almost put myself in a blender and send myself straight to oblivion. I wanted to rip my brains out and dissect my own brain skull just to see if it still worked. I think I was the maddest I've ever been in my life. Only time I ever thought of even putting my hands on a woman. I'm like, how would you do that? Well, that's MULN. And by the way, I got to blur that out, YouTube? I can't say that as a joke. God. Either way, this thing is just tank city. Sorry to anybody involved. They have 350 million shares to dilute, or $350 million in cash, in debt, in form of convertible notes, or some shit like that. I don't know what to tell you. It's a falling knife. Hopefully you get some relief soon. HNRC, we've already been over this. Pull back to this middle band. RSI perfect at 50. You're going to need a little bit of a turn tomorrow. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see if it gets news. I think news could be on the horizon. EPAZ, that's how fast I got to go through these pups. Because I could sit here and talk all day, although now I'm sweating again. EPAZ, again, called you to sell it at here, double top, bang, sell down. This thing broke this middle thing, which is what I was saying. If you don't hold one, you're in trouble. You didn't. Now you're coming back to either 7, I would say 7, or if you hit the lows, you're coming back down to 5. I don't know if it's going to exactly do that. For all I know, it could reverse here. I just don't like the fact that your MACD is oversold, your RSI is turning down, and the company keeps putting out bullshit paid for subscription articles that are nonsense, fluff crap. See it 5, folks. GMZP. And if you want to keep listening to the guys on those boards with the name in their name, sure, so be it. It's your money. You do with it as you please. If you want to listen to me, I'm probably going to tell you the truth. GMZP, this is looking kind of bullish up here. I've been saying that for a while. It's holding this ascending wedge. and everything is kind of turning up. I don't know. I mean, this isn't my style. This is a little bit overbought for me. But if you're riding anywhere on this trend line and buying there, chances are you might hold that and might push above these previous highs and get to the next leg. I don't know though. This thing is holding gains up 400%. I do like to see that. We're going to have to see where it goes from here. As long as it holds that trend line, you're in good shape. MINM. Very, very nice. Came back, kissed this middle band. Not sure how it's going to react from here, but I do like your technicals on both ends, RSI and MACD, both turning up, volume increasing, approaching this middle band. Looks like it wants to get through it. If it does, you're looking at 20. I would sell personally at 18 just to be safe because I don't play those games. I don't go for the max gain. I go for the in-between, not the bottom or the top. But either way, still looks bullish to me. NVOS. Tough one. This thing is kind of all over the place right now. They better have good earnings. I don't know if it's going to want to fill this gap. That would be a rough move. You just need good. You need the earnings to come out good. I don't even know if they've came out yet. I would assume not. But you better hope that earnings are going to be good. That's the way that you keep going. They're not good, and it's a bad. It's a bad disclosure. You're in trouble. But that's the thing. That's where this is a gamble, a complete gamble. Especially if you're in up here, you're kind of hoping. That's why we take our 10% losses. But either way, we're going to have to follow that one. I wish you the best. I hope that you guys make money in that. We're going to have to see what happens. WSRC. Called this out yesterday after I saw this pop. 1 day of consolidation right underneath the band, and then bing, bang, bop, sing, sang, sock, dingy, dingy, ding, 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 dong. Hit the jackpot, woo! Hit the jackpot, Sorry. Again, these are all things that I will be sent to hell for, and it's something that I have to deal with, so get over it. Either way, all your technicals are turned the hell up. Not overbought, though, yet. Volume coming in, looking like the max gain is going to be somewhere around, maybe even up here near 14.3. You are above that middle band with strength, closing near the high of the day. Daddy do likey. Blow off top to 13 to 14 tomorrow. Watch and learn. This is how I got to get through these pups. Inkdub was very nice yesterday. Let's see what happened to today. I really need to get my brain checked. I really need to see a psychiatrist. I really need to get on some type of ADHC medication. But I was on that when I was 13, and it's stunning my growth. Won't you look at the height of my stature? It's 5'7", should have been 6'2", because all my brothers and dad are 6'2". I don't really know what happened. Oh, yes, I was taking drugs. Prescribed by my doctor. I really need to stop singing. But that's my review. No, I'm kidding. That's my review. No, I'm joking. You did have this pop above this middle band, and you did have this day of consolidation. I really do like this. You're breaking this downtrend. This could go smoke sesh. This could go bing bop. This could go to 7.9 in a heartbeat. This is at 5.4. You could look at 50% gain on this. Be careful. Actually, I don't even know why I would say be careful. Oh, yeah, because last time it had this type of situation, it got tanked back down, but I do like it now because you aren't getting rejected at that middle band. Instead, you're getting close above it. You are good on your technicals. I'm liking this. Pay attention to this and make sure you set your alerts in this. How am I only here? MWWC. Probably because I think I'm Christmas Carol Chris. MWWC flagging, sure, but I'm looking to buy on the bottom of this flag. Give me 6s all day and I'll go snipe away. Give me 5s and I'm probably going to even jive and stay alive and get ready to go to the moon with all of my guys and all of my friends and fellow traders that are within. This is a very good place to buy if you can get in at 5. Very good place to get in at 5. Might even tap 4, not sure. Not loving all the technicals overbought here, but this does seem to want to flag here. You don't want it to fall off the wagon here. You want to keep the pressure. You want to keep the interest. You want to keep people buying, but you also want to buy in the bottom of the flag and sell the top. That will tighten as time happens. That's why on these big drops, you buy it, you sell it, you buy it, you sell it, you buy it, you sell it. and then we'll see what happens from there. GVSI. Showing a little bit of an uptick here. It is trying to break this downtrend. Very light volume, though. Your technicals are oversold. If you're going to buy this and you want shares of this for the long run because you think the Sharp's going to come through and you think that this merger is going to be handled, I don't like the look of this. I don't like the fact that it went up and straight back down, right back to the fifth support. But if this would be the best time to buy, if you really believe in the merger that's going to come into this. Only time will tell. I think that there is still some time to wait, but if you accumulate here, you should be in good shape. I don't see it going much lower than this. RIOT, one of my top calls. This one I will take as a win because I've been telling you guys, let's hit singles. We're not looking for home runs. I got 7 ticks in JAGX today, and I almost squirted to the ceiling. And then I got an HNRC. I'm up 20% in that. This was with that cash. Those were my only 2 trades today. I'm trying to not overtrade. I'm trying to just stick with some flippable cash, stay in some stocks that I think are going to run in the future. That's just the way that I'm managing my account right now. But either way, we're taking 10%. We're taking 20%. We're taking bunts. We're taking singles. We're taking doubles as the best shot because this ran, I think, 12% from my call. Now it's coming back. You're probably coming back to a little bit of support here, but it could keep running in the future. I would see how this is going to react to Bitcoin because I think that this thing tends to stick with Bitcoin for some reason. Not exactly sure why, but Bitcoin has been tanking. Bitcoin doesn't exist. Bitcoin isn't real. Bitcoin is air. Bitcoin is worthless. I literally could take my shoe that's dirty as hell and sell that to a child and it would be worth an entire more than an entire Bitcoin because at least that child could he could eat the shoe, he could play with the shoe, he could give it to his son in the future if he wants to save it in a time capsule, whatever. It's worth at least something. Bitcoin, you could bury it in the ground and it still wouldn't exist. You could put it in a bank, still wouldn't exist. You could leave it for your child's inheritance, still wouldn't exist. So just be careful. Again, my call, 10% gain, pull it, let it go, move on to the next. If it keeps running, great, but that's where I'm at with that one. Gold, another one of my calls. This is a long hold. So I'm going to say it's a win for now because, why? Because, I told you to buy it. Actually up here. So it's not quite back there yet, but with the Bitcoin dropping, gold will go up. Any asset, like if the stock market's tanking, gold should move. They've manipulated this for way too long. I think it's time to go. If you get a break above these, if you break above 185 tomorrow and close above it, you're in good shape for a continuation, and I will be able to call that a win by the end of the week. I love gold. I love gold. I want to hoard it. I literally want to have sex with it. Like I always say, if it had a soul or a hole, I would insert myself either physically or spiritually. ZURA, what the hell happened to here? Holy McChooch. Holy Macachiki. Holy McSmith. Holy Timbo McCluke. 314%. Wow. They dumped on people's domes. I'm sure people are going to be like, I bought there. There's probably like 6 people that did. I'm sure Moon Market's already all over it. Like, I bought the bottom and I haven't sold yet. And you guys should buy up here. And then so it can tank back on your dome piece. This one, absolute megalith. I doubt that it continues tomorrow. Very possible, but only if you're already invested. Should you even think about having this? You do not want to buy up here because you have a long way to fall. This was obviously a pump. I don't know exactly how it happened, but holy smokes, this thing really ran. So good for you guys that got this type of gain. Remember, we're in a bear market. You make 300% in a day. You better not even be thinking twice. You better at least be scaling out. Leave something on the table that you might want to hold just in case. But if you're not out with at least 80% of your position, see what happens tomorrow. And if you make more money, that's great, but you're still making the wrong decision. Why? Because you're going to continue to keep that in your mind, like you're always going to catch these huge 300% runners daily, and then you're going to think, oh, well, I held that one, so it ran a little bit higher, and then that's not going to happen all the time. Very pretty chart in EVFM, 2-day runner, very rare these days. Small level of resistance here, right where this top Bollinger Band is, right around 4 cents. Let's see what happens. This thing is still bullish because everything is still oversold. Very, very pretty chart. Just the fact that this thing really did lift off bottom. Congratulations. You still might be in the money with this volume, and the fact that it's still bullish on your technicals. Whatever's going on in that puppy, remember to leave me information, DD, in the comments so I can further explore. I do not have time to look at DD of every one of these stocks. I would literally be a nut job, and I would never do anything else. And I do have to feed my guns every once in a while at the gym. I do have to see some nice, never mind. SMX, I mean, this thing is obliterated. Keep your eyes on this. I've been watching this pretty tightly. I want to see for a reversal because it's super thin and it's beaten down. This could do one of these, and it could go back to this middle band, which is currently at 553, and the price is at 95. I mean, geez, Louisa, Mama Mendoza, this bad boy's thin, can do that in the matter of a day, so keep your eyes on it. Just watch it, folks. Just watch it. Doesn't mean buy it now. TRKA, called this one from 95 cents. Ask around about me. If you didn't hear it, I told everybody on that page, so anybody that's still there bagged, you should have listened to me at 95. Don't hate me for it. Just learn. I told literally everybody to sell right there. I went on the boards and I screamed it from the mountaintops to the mountaintops, from trumpets, from choirs, from ukuleles and harps. I strummed my tone. I strummed my song. And I said, sell it here. And nobody listened. They all called me a dumbass. And then literally by the end of the day, it was at 26 at the low. Then it tanked even lower. And then it tanked even lower. And then people were saying, hit the ask here. And I said, nah, I'm waiting for 15. And guess what? That's why you set your standard and you buy where your target. Do not get sucked into something that looks like it's going to turn when you think it's going to be 15. That is your previous line of support. I will buy anything sub 15. BLBL had some volume. No, BRBL. Yeah, another scam. Well, you know, I'm sure you guys already know that. BRBL. I mean, it's up 100% because it's one tick. But I just saw it as interesting because the technicals are kind of turning up because of this volume. It seems like that was a very strong amount of volume. I'm not exactly sure how much, but obviously that could have been a front load. I'm not sure what came out. If it was news and that was all they had, then it might be shot. Give me some DD in the comments because I do like this as a front load, but why no continuation of volume? Please let me know. Box D had a day. It's a buyout rumor. I actually brought this up last night. I said it was oversold. I said I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen from here. It's a very risky thing, but I did say that there's a chance that there could be a buyout. Of course, that's the rumor. We buy the rumor. And what happened today, people got rewarded 50% gain from the lows. That's probably even higher. And you're still extremely oversold on your technicals. I'm looking for a gap fill and a middle band touch at 40. That could be a very, very, very good gain for you from here because you're currently at 21. That could still be a double. I'd look for a pullback to get in. EGOC, whatever you want to call it. Just seeing some bullishness from this one. Keep your eyes on it. Add to your watch list. Set your alerts where you see fit. I like the fact that it's breaking above this. Everything looks pretty primed on your technicals. You are getting a little bit smoked, and you are at this previous kind of resistance here where it got rejected in the past. Your volume isn't necessarily there yet. It even came back all the way down to this middle band today. So I think that the volume is very thin. I think that there's a wide bid and ask spread just by looking at this candle formation. So set your buys down at trip 8, and literally by the end of the day you could be at 17, but you only had 2.53 million volume. So again, now that I see that, yes, it is very low volume, but you are curling up. Look for a cup and a handle. Let me know if there's any news in the horizon, because there must be with this type of movement. VDRM Been calling this out for weeks. Haven't really said to buy it. I've just been putting it on my page because it looked bullish as shit, especially when it broke above this. But, you know, you just keep getting bullish. You keep trying to get pulled back and it keeps getting sent. This thing has a very, very good amount of volume coming in. But then I look at the RSI. I see it turning down. I see it turning down and still at 85. Needs a cool off. Your MACD is exhausted. As long as you keep this moving, I mean, so be it. But technically speaking, you're overbought, okay? Kill me. I don't want to spoil the fun. I don't want to ruin your life. I don't want to ruin your day. But at the same time, this thing looks a little bit extended, a little bit exhausted. As long as your volume keeps up, I could be wrong. You're going to have to get real hot on your technicals. You're going to have to come out with the really good news at the top and not dilute. All things you're like hoping on a dream right now. If you're already in for a significant gain, scale out for the love of Christ Jesus upon the heavenlies, our Lord in heaven. CETY, this thing looks pretty bullish. A long period of consolidation. Now you're starting to pop up above this band. Can you get above 550? That's going to be the tell. Your MACD looks sexual. Your RSI looks sexual. Volume is increasing. Do with it as you please, folks. Remember, this is not a show where I'm telling you what to sell or what to buy. It's just a review of charts that are hot on the market to keep you informed and to keep your eyes on the market and not just in what you're invested in. Like this. You'd probably be never looking at this right now because it's not getting pumped on the boards, but it's getting pumped on this page. Why? Because it's got a good buy-in zone, okay? It looks like you're stabilized here. You're at 11. Middle band is at 18. Looking for a 60% return because you're going to want to sell before that just to get in and to get out safely. Volume is coming up. Let's see what happens here. I might even take a dabble in this. If I can get ones tomorrow, daddy's in. CVNA. Traded this one in the past, traded it pretty well, worked out for me. And now it like tried to pop up today, probably on earnings, pulled back to this middle band, might need to fill this gap. But if it does, you get the right type of momentum like it had in the past, you might be in good shape. All your technicals are fine. They look good. Hopefully this isn't just a bull trap that's going to bag people. Hopefully it just comes back down, fills this gap at around $7.80, $7.90, $8, somewhere in that range. Can't tell because I have these glasses on. I can't see shit. But either way, it fills that gap and then it continues. You're in good shape. GGII. I brought this one up because, again, you don't want to buy when everybody's telling you to buy here. Then you're going to get bagged. But when somebody like me is telling you to buy here, chances are you're going to not lose that much money. If you do, it's not going to be much. If you gain any money, it's going to be better to buy it here on a flag that's starting to turn green with your technicals oversold with no volume whatsoever. That's what you're lacking. That's what you need. You need a strong volume day to get this back up, to break this downtrend. If you do, you're in probably good shape for a continued push. KITL. This thing is looking good. It looks like it might be the third wave on the Elliott. Bang, bang. Can it get above it again? I don't know. Super traded. It's traded super thin. Got denied. Pulled back below this middle band today. If it can break that with strength, maybe tomorrow might be that day. You get a strong push. Technicals are not overbought. They're starting to curl back up. Your volume is obviously tremendous on every day. It started to die a little bit, but you're evening out, waiting for the next big volume day. I like it. Doesn't seem like they're diluting. Seems like a very healthy and intact chart. IMP, this is one that I've been thinking about recently because I knew oil and the price of crude was down so heavily. And my friend actually got into oil recently. One of more of the smarter traders that I know that have millions of dollars that like can actually afford to like buy oil and just let it sit for 6 months. But this thing looks very pretty. It was oversold. Now it's starting to get hot again. It's starting to show signs of hotness. It's starting to break down or break out of this downtrend. You break this middle band, you hold above 1820, you get above 20. Now you're breaking that trend and you could come up, you could come up to, let's say 30. This is ripe right here. You get any type of dip, I advise you to buy. I think that towards the summer, gas is obviously going to go up. This could be a better long-term hold for somebody, but this would be the time to buy if anything. ADHC. John, can't remember how to spell his last name, starts with a P. He brought this up yesterday. If you get above this obvious top, which is a channel, you break above that and you start to hold above that, you're in good shape, because it's obviously trying to break that and there hasn't been enough power to get over it. But since you're, you want to trade in this channel, but if it breaks that channel, you might be in for a nice push. Everything looks good on your technicals, volume coming in. I do like it, but you got to get above that resistance. ILUS, I just brought this up because this is like, whenever somebody's on one of these pages, I'm not sure that there's anybody else out there like me. That's why I saw the problem and I wanted to fix it. Is because there's so many pumpers out there that just never tell you to sell. They never tell you to, they tell you where to buy and then they don't tell you to sell, or they tell you to buy their shares at the ask at the all-time high, whatever the case may be. They get everyone bagged. And for some reason, people still stay subscribed to them because they make them feel good. They're in the bag and they keep pumping the stock. And instead of getting mad at them because well, first of all, you should always just be mad at yourself. You should never be mad at anybody for a decision that you made. Let's just get that straight. But for these guys that you're listening to, in a stock like ILUS, it's the greatest stock to ever exist. I wouldn't be surprised if they were paid by the company to dilute. That's what they do with other companies, where they pay somebody to write articles, pump articles on them so that it gets people excited and then they dump on their face. EPAZ is the newest one that I've seen to do that. And this one has just caused losses, it looks like, for many a year now. And there's still people like, oh, this is the best stock ever. Well, guess what? It doesn't look like the best stock to me when you came from, what, almost 9 cents, and now you're back at 4. You're down 50% over a month. That's a long time to be holding a 50% bag, praying that it pops back up. I don't care what it did in the past. I don't care who made money in the past. Just like the people who made Bitcoin from $1 to 70,000, that's great. That ship has sailed. You missed the boat, and now it's time to just realize that, it's just the interest is gone. It's on to something else, and you need to just move on. And that's why you take your 10% loss. Don't get married to anything, and don't listen to pumpers because they're selling while you're buying. INND, it looks like a lot like that other one, ADHC. It does seem like it's trading a channel. A lot is doing that right now because of the fact that traders are taking smaller gains. They're bunting and taking singles rather than looking for home runs. So they're not willing to hold past this resistance. They're selling at it and they're buying back down at support. You just got to watch these. You set your alerts. You set your alert for 4.3. You set your alert high for 6.2. If one of those hits, you check the volume if it's the top one. You see if something came out and it's running hard and pushing with volume through the resistance. Or your 4.3 comes in. You might have to sit there for a day or two. You buy it. It runs back up to the top of the channel. You get out and you're good. You're good to go. That's how you trade. Stop watching your account go like this. Take advantage of the gains when you can. Take advantage of the dips when you can. Make sure to set alerts. Make sure to be a technician, a sniper. Don't just be buying at any random whim just because you are excited and you want to get in on the FOMO because everybody's talking about it. Chances are, if somebody's on the boards and they're spamming a ticker, they're ready to sell it. Until tomorrow, I'm hot as hell in this, and it's only going to get hotter in my life as I go to hell because of my opener.